What's up, YouTube? This will be my final music interview. Today is August 21st, 2026. I can't go live because I don't have enough subscribers, but we're going to do this raw and cut. No clip ins, no say everything perfect. So there'll be some mistakes and I don't pronounce something right, but who gives a shit? You'll feel the authenticity. I'm also 5 days sober. My last song was 5 days ago. Step away from music. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to move into a fast, heal some of the damage. Music has became unbearable. Beyond nails in the chalkboard, I believe they changed everything to fight me. I don't know if that's situation or I was just making music too fast. But in this 9 months, I've accomplished a lot. But I took weeks off here, month off there, because it was too much. So I really ain't even worked less than 6 months, and 80% of that I was drunk just to deal with the bullshit. And that's unfortunate because this is my time. This is the perfect environment for what I've been doing for 10 years. I'm just writing. I'm a songwriter. And now I have some tools where I made wow, but it's became so bad that the unenjoyment of trying to get what I want, while they mess with me, while they play Russian roulette on what a button does. I mean, they literally changed everything just to deal with me. And I'm not yanking my own dick. It's unfortunate because there is a dopamine you feel when you create something and you get the final product. It's like, wow. It isn't worth the mental health of how hard it was to get there and how much bullshit you had to deal with. Like, my last song's probably the best song, and I've became a better songwriter. I was naturally a hip hop artist. I've been learning to write in these different genres a little bit, and it's been amazing. What I could have done in a year, I think would have been absolutely epic. But this time is fleeting, okay? I don't get creative I lost in the past due to things. If I didn't use that creative that day, it's gone. Next time I go make a song in 3 days, it's going to be a completely different song because I'm a different person. They say you never step in the same water twice. You never step in the same water twice, especially when it's a river. Well, this is like a river in time. Everything is changing so fast in music. Okay, take music out of it. The rest of the world is changing so fast. This was a time where I could maximize it, and they've really destroyed that for whatever reason, and my music is suppressed. So later, this won't have the same impact. There'll be a couple songs that are still like wow and timeless, but it won't have the same impact. Okay, I'll tell you this book here, Wibble Jibble. I made this at the perfect time. Okay, when AI started to create images because I can't draw like that. I can write a great kids book, but even making that book became so nails on the chalkboard. They fought me on images. My program where I'm setting up, they would just keep doing these things. So I spent so much time fighting to get these little things where this program that I was creating it on changed. Like they just kept messing with it to make it so freaking unenjoyable. And then I'm time decaying. So they made the process of making the book take longer. And finally, I had to just print the book. Okay. Even though I think there was a better book there, but time decay was happening because they were just making everything. So I printed the book, then they suppressed the book. Well, there'll never be another first edition. You'll see it says first edition because I needed to print the book based on time and then make the final edition. Go back and pay artists to get exactly what I want. No compromises. When I talk about compromises, I had to compromise on things on this book. It's still a wow book, and it's an epic moment in time. In fact, I think these books will only go up in value because eventually my son's going to have the type of game that translates to every language, and this is the origin story for that. When he sells millions of copies of his game, this is the origin story of that. But that's even got time decay. There'll never be any more printing, so it does kind of save it. But that moment is gone. I will go back and I will finish the final edition of Wibble Jibble if I ever get out of here, and it'll be now about 40% better because I wrote other things over the years since that's happened, but it has time decay. The same thing is happening to my music right now. Now, I could have even made more music if I was a better engineer. Well, I only got to record 2 songs when I started recording 2 years ago. Air Surf Glide and Certain Individuals. That's my first time recording in I can't tell you how long. And back in the day, I used to go to the studio, so I had an engineer. You know what I mean? So I was just learning to engineer. I didn't know how to polish sounds or get the sound quality. It didn't go in for mix and mastering, So the songs are great, but they weren't what they could be. But if they didn't stop me, I would have continued making songs for a year on my program, and I would be a better engineer. But they stopped that. I spent, $4 or $5 grand on all the equipment to do it. They hacked it. I can't record anymore. I'm not just going to keep dumping money into something and they can just hack my equipment again. I'm not rich. They only gave me 2 songs. They heard Certain Individuals and shut it down. Okay. Well, because of that, I didn't have the engineering experience. So I go into this and you could see my music is progressively getting better. You know what I mean? And I'm venturing out. I'm challenging my songwriter skills. But I get in this flow zone, and then they start just tweaking, messing with me. I got to take breaks. I got to stop. But I'm in my flow zone. What if I never had to stop the flow zone? I mean, you know what I mean? Get hammered just to deal with the nails on the chalkboard. I think we could have had 4 great albums, and I would have condensed it down to 2, put it on 1 disc, and gave you the most epic double CD I think the world's ever seen that has a little something for everybody, meaning it's got a song that you think is over the top. Oh, I hate that song, but there's going to be something for you. On this double CD would have had something for everybody and have been like nothing that's ever been seen. Well, as time goes by, things are changing so rapidly that, something else will happen. But if they didn't stop me, this was my perfect moment in time. I trained for this moment for 10 years, and they took a whole team against me, and it's just been ugly. Okay, we'll go back to even 2016. 2016, I probably just my face coming on here drunk, probably rapped 400 verses. Were they all good? No, but I also came on here hammered and just was different than anybody else. I told you what was going on in my life. I pimped myself. I actually pimped myself for the internet. Was everything I thought right? No. Hey, I was just discovering this whole new world and existence in 2016, long before a lot of people even discovered it. And sure, I was wrong about a lot of things, I don't even agree with some of my stuff in 2016, I'm telling you. And I can watch it and it's cringe. But some of it is still golden. There's some in there that is just wow. But overall, that is time decayed. I pimped myself on the internet, sacrificed who I was, my privacy, nobody knowing me because they were attacking me, and this was a defense, and they shut that down. My first video had 560 views in like just a couple hours, and then they shut it down. And then I've never ever seen that many views on anything since. They just shut it down. My first rap, they're like, holy shit, and it just shut me down. But I kept trying, nothing. Anyhow, that time period decayed, but it should have been a huge income generator. You know what I mean? If you're completely different and pimping yourself on the internet with music and just showing the world the dark side of things, and of course they weren't going to let that happen, but it would have been huge. What would have happened if that worked? Well, I would have made music. I would have invested in my own studio, and I would have had albums by now. On top of that, do you remember when I told everybody, buy oil, buy oil, buy oil? I even guaranteed a list. Well, a lot of them companies are up 40, 50% from that time. On that list, I guaranteed, sure, a lot of those companies went bankrupt, but the one that went 50, 40, 30, oh my God, you guys are up 20%. You know what I mean? 15, 20%. What if I rolled my music? Because I was all in on oil, but I had no money. No money. Kept poor. Oh gosh, my 2016 revenue stream plus making albums, and then it rolls into this opportunity. Opportunities only happen so often. It was like the crash with the real estate in '09, '08. People went all in, huge, made huge money. Well, that COVID, that oil, huge money. I mean, absolutely. And now oil, gas is higher than it's ever been. You know what I mean? I told everybody I know, but I was kept poor. That opportunity's gone. It's never going to come back. 16 was gone. Wibble Jibble, gone. But those 13 books are still great, and I'm going to make a better book. That's not done. But the time decay on that, what if I had that book working? I would have paid off my home. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. Right now, I had 3 roofs with holes in them. Since the last time I made music, I had 2 trees fall on my house, put a hole in my roof. I had to patch up my roof, put a hole in the trailer. Now I have a tarp on my garage. I had to fix this roof, a roof on the camper. You know what I mean? It just unbelievable. Time decay. Time decay kills everything. I'll never have this moment back. The world will completely change. We were on the beginning stages of it. And I was probably, in my humble opinion, I'm not dick yanking myself, the best in the business. I banged out songs so quick. All those years when I was drunk writing obnoxious, I just see something, I drunk write. Well, that was pure training and practice. Now, a lot of people said it was gibberish. Well, to you it was gibberish. My mind moves so fast, I got dyslexic. I see the words that are missing. So I miss the word the there and this there, and it just doesn't sound the same. Or you can read it and you're not hearing the way I would normally perform it. I would just be chopping words quick. You know, like on the song I'm Up, I chop words quick. Or anything like that. But time decay kills everything. You'll never step in the same water twice, especially in a river. Well, with the way the world's changing in music, this time period's going to get decay. And it's sitting here suppressed. I don't make music anymore because it's too bad on my mental health. But should it have been that way? Should I had the most epic 4 albums? 4 albums would have been no problem if they didn't change everything and fight me along the way and make it so miserable it's worse than the final product. I'll never get this time back. This was my one moment in time to be the greatest in the world. Hands down, the greatest in the world at this moment in time with the tools. Why? Choruses, listening to music my whole life. Had a record store when I was 19 years old. I've loved music my whole life. We used to have a record company, then I went to prison. Even though I never made a lot of music, I took the time, choruses, quality. And every one of those songs, they fought me so much. And they wouldn't let me reach anybody that could help me engineer. I don't need any help. I know what I want. I just need a little help on the computer. This time period been destroyed. This was the defining moment of my life at the perfect time, and it's been taken. Just like I was ahead of the curve on this book. Time decayed. I was ahead of the curve in 2016. Told everybody why oil. What's it got me? A lot less money, a lot more stress, and yeah, I'm done with music. What do? You can't continue on this path. No siree, Bob. Not when even the dopamine of having the finished product, you know it's great, you enjoy it. The dopamine from that stopped being better than how hard you had to fight to get it, because you know what they're doing. They're just bullying you. They're changing all the rules. You hit a button on a program, it does what it was programmed to do in the certain parameters of function. It's not you hit the button, it does this time, you hit the button, it does this time, and all these things. Absolutely not. Or you know, they're not even showing you the real generations. They're showing you similar generations that they created, and they're taking different times and spinning all these things. You know, it is what it is. But it became so miserable that even the wow songs weren't worth what I went through. And so many of those songs I had to compromise. Yeah, the song's great, but I'm telling you, there was 15 to 20% better song there. I just couldn't engineer it. And if I did engineer it, I'm going to have to sit on the computer for a week, fight. I could have made 3 songs. So, you know, eventually you have to get away. But one engineer knows what they're doing. This file, I want that like that, I want that like that. Bam, we're done. That song is 15 to 20% better. Some of them songs are just, wow. You know what I mean? Not all of them. And some of them are obnoxious. People don't like that kind of music. Some of them fit your kind of music. Well, this was going to be music for everybody. You know what I mean? That person, the music you may not like, may have liked that enough to come over here to this other music. You know, who knows? It was my time, and I believe I was one of the best in the world, if not the best, that they had to change it all, and it became so miserable. So what do I do now? Well, I continue. It's been 5 days of sober. I'm going to move into a fast. I'm going to try to fast for at least 2 weeks, maybe even a month. Heal my liver and kidneys from all this mess with me every day, and step away from music. So there you have it. Take care. God bless.